2 weeks ago, Glitch Studio announced the premiere of their new show titled The Amazing Digital Circus. Judging by the views, audiences really dug it. It's about a heroine who somehow ends up in virtual reality, where everyone looks like they're part of a circus act. Gotta say, the vibe they've created hooks you right from the get-go. Thanks to this constant feeling of mystery and the enigmatic stuff happening, the show made a huge splash. At first glance, this virtual circus seems pretty tame, but I've noticed some pretty intriguing details suggesting that this virtual world is actually full of despair, madness, and hopelessness. The characters we meet in the story aren't as friendly and kind as they first appear, and our leading lady didn't just end up here by chance. She's got a purpose she's still clueless about. So, to make my theory clearer, let's dive into what went down in the first episode. A character named Kane, who acts as the ringmaster of this digital circus, invites us to check out an exciting show. Then we're introduced to some pretty odd main characters. The last one to be introduced is the main character, a girl dressed in a clown costume. Right away, it's obvious from her behavior that she's totally baffled by what's going on. As the story unfolds, it turns out she's the new BI who's just arrived in this digital realm. She tries with all her might to take off the VR glasses to get out of this world, but no luck. Seeing her desperation, one of the locals approaches her and explains that there's no way out. Regatta tells her that they've all been here for years and long, stopped looking for a way to escape. After that, Kane, who seems to be the top dog here, judging by his ability to fly and teleport, offers to show the main character her new crib where she's gonna spend the rest of her days. During the tour, the girl spots a red door with an exit sign. But as soon as she tries to point it out to Kane, he quickly changes the subject. Back with the rest of the digital circus crew, the heroine tries to tell them about the door she saw while with Kane. But none of them seem to have a clue what she's talking about. All the characters start insisting again that there's no way out of this world. And if there was, they'd have found it during their time here. Then, Kane spins a wheel with letters to pick out a name for the main character, and just like that, she's dubbed Pomni. Next up, to get Pomni in the mix with the local crowd, Kane kicks off a little adventure. He tasks everyone with stopping these weird creatures called gloinks. They look like various geometric shapes and wreck everything in their path. After some grumbling, the gang agrees to stop the gloinks, especially after they dismantled Zuba for parts and carted it off, who knows where. The team splits into two groups. Gingle and Kinger head off to track down the gloinks, while Regatta, Pomni, and Jex go to introduce the newbie to Kafma, who's holed up in his room due to some kind of funk. As they pass by a bunch of rooms with portraits of the characters living in them, Pomni spots a room with her picture on it, a reminder that she's here for the long haul. There are also doors with crossed out portraits, but we'll get to that part later. The guys walk into the room and it's plastered with exit signs everywhere. Kafma, the dude they wanted Pomni to meet, has turned into this massive creature that looks like a glitchy texture from a video game. Looks like poor Kafma lost his marbles because he couldn't find a way out of this world. Maybe he saw the same exit door that Pomni did. This weird entity attacks Regatta, causing her to start glitching out too. When Pomni reaches out to help her, her hand starts glitching as well. Realizing she's in danger and can't do squat to help Regatta, Pomni books it after Kafma's shadow takes a dive off the balcony at breakneck speed. Pomni gets back to Regatta. Regatta tells her that only Kane can sort this mess out. Pomni takes off to find Kane. Hiding from the creature that used to be Kafma, she ducks behind a barrel and spots that same exit door again. When Pomni steps through the door, she finds herself in an office space with another door. Pretty soon, we get that these office spaces are never ending. Every exit door just leads to another office, and there's no end in sight. After Pomni dashes through countless rooms, she enters another door and sees a desk with an old computer and a pair of VR glasses lying next to it. Lock this scene in your memory, because it's a key moment. In a panic, Pomni rushes to the next door and ends up in the void that Kane showed her during the tour. Meanwhile, Gingle and Kinger end up in some cave where they find the glowing queen. But after a short chat, Kaufma's shadow crashes down from above and squashes her. So, at the same time, Kane is chilling in a restaurant with his assistant when he gets a message that one of the main characters has broken into the void. He instantly teleports and brings Pomni back to the virtual circus. Right away, Kane hears about Kaufman losing his grip and he puts him in the basement, where we can spot a bunch of other scattered characters in the shadows. The pilot episode wraps with Kane healing Regatta and everyone sitting down at the table. You can tell by the look on the main character's face that she's in some kind of shock. Now, let's dive into my theory. Let's start with Kane. This guy seems to be some kind of god in this world. He can teleport around, heal characters, open passages, and move big objects. Basically, he's all powerful. I think that Pomni is also someone special. It's no coincidence she sees doors with exit signs. Let's go back to poor Kaufman's room where he went nuts. There's that exit sign plastered everywhere, and on one picture it even says there's no exit. Most likely, Kaufman saw the same red door as Pomni. If Kane hadn't saved Pomni in time, she might have gone off the deep end too. Another wild theory is that all these characters we see in the virtual circus are real people who got stuck in this virtual game. When Pomni was running through all those office rooms, she stumbled upon a desk with an old computer, and next to it, on the desk, were VR glasses. Most likely that's her computer, the one she used to enter this weird world. This theory is also backed up by the fact that at the start of the series, Pomni was desperately trying to take something off her head. Looks like she was trying to rip off the VR glasses. Then, let's focus on the moment when Kane gets the message about someone getting into the void. There's a website link shown there. On this website, we find an ad for a game called Digital Circus. I'm guessing to play this game you gotta put on VR glasses and transfer your entire consciousness into virtual reality. So it turns out that all the characters we see in the series are real people who got stuck in the game. They got stuck because the moment a person's consciousness is fully moved into this digital world, all their memories are wiped clean. This is evident from how Pomni couldn't even remember her own name. When a character in the digital circus loses their mind because of the hopelessness and the impossibility of getting out, they scatter, just like poor Kaufman did. Looks like the same thing happened to Kinger's wife. You see, when the guys went to introduce Pomni to Kaufman, on one of the doors, there was a crossed-out portrait of the chess queen. It's not hard to figure out that she was Kinger's wife. Apparently, she's also in the basement where Kane dumped Kaufman's shadow. There are also a ton of other cool theories out there. If you want to know more about the digital circus, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to drop your own theories and guesses in the comments.